Hello, my name is Mackenzie Henderson, and we're here with the She's Unlimited podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Naya. She is a nurse and she is also a content creator. Naya is an incredible personality on social media, and I am so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yay! Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, of course. So, welcome to the She's Unlimited podcast. We are here to show girls that there's no limit to your success. Whatever you want to be, you can do it. And you don't have to limit yourself to one field. So, Naya, can you talk a little bit about how you have pivoted to social media?
It was a very organic transition for me. I genuinely enjoy making content, of navigating new trends, posting online, engaging with my community. And honestly, I would say for a long time, it was even hard for me to consider myself a content creator. As you stated before, I am a nurse. I have a 9 to 5. I work in oncology, and I just did content because I love it. And then it became something that I could profit from and make friends from and grow from. And I'm just been able to open up so many opportunities just for myself and exploring a more entrepreneurial side to me through TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So that's just been a really fun journey for me, also relatively new journey for me. So I'm navigating all of that and I'm really enjoying this new creative process.
Yeah, that's nice. So you mentioned in some of your videos that you had made a move from New Jersey or New York to Atlanta. That is a huge leap of faith. So can you talk to any girls who are thinking about moving or are a little bit hesitant, and what advice would you give to them?
I am a huge advocate for moving from your hometown just because it just gives you so much range to be able to find yourself and trust yourself and learn a new environment. I feel like growth requires some type of adaptation. So moving to another city, especially if it's a major city or a metropolitan area, definitely gives you an opportunity to make new friends, to grow in your profession. Like it may seem scary at first, but change is scary, growth is scary, and oftentimes worth it. So I'm a huge advocate for moving, especially in your 20s. You don't have a mortgage, you don't have kids, you don't have anything weighing you down. And I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, you mentioned it being a good thing for your career, possibly, and your career as an oncology nurse is powerful. So, what led you to nursing and specifically oncology?
So I would actually say when it came to nursing, it was actually because of my grandmother I became a nurse. When I was in high school, I was really just blessed enough to have so many options as to different career paths. I was in the Academy of Finance, so I was taking like
Oh,
college accounting and like 11th grade. I was in fashion merchandising. I've even done ROTC to see if I'd like the military. I just tried so many different things. And I thought I wanted to be a lawyer at one time. And my grandmother was just like, healthcare will always offer you some level of stability. You'll be able to find a job, have consistent work, and be mobile. So you're not fixated to one spot. So I was like, okay, I want to be a doctor. And then I took Calc 1 and I was like, I do not want to be a doctor. Set out, don't want to do that. But I do want to help people and I do like healthcare. After taking, stats and AMP and just kind of just like my base classes, I knew that I wanted to stay on a healthcare track. And nursing just offers so much variety that I said, because I know that I'm still evolving in myself and what I want to do, nursing allows me to have a career that's variable. I've worked in a hospital, I've worked for spine and pain surgeons, I work in oncology now. In 3 years, I may work back in a hospital for mother baby, I may set a line for scrubs, I may work for insurance. Like, I like the fact that I can continue to grow, continue to learn, and I'll still be helping people either way. So that was really the core and the basis of what fueled me for my career, wanting to help people, wanting to connect with people every day, and having a lot of opportunity to grow and continue to learn. So,
that makes sense, and that is really good. I like what your grandmother said about having stability. There's so many jobs out here where people are having a very hard time with finding stability and consistency within their careers. So that is definitely true and something to keep in mind.
For
But emotionally manage the heaviness that comes with working with cancer patients.
It is definitely something that takes getting used to. But I honestly feel like choosing oncology was a gift for me because it wasn't originally what I had set my sights on. When moving to a city, I just wanted work. And then oncology, working here has really given me a new perspective on what life is and what health is and what being grateful and humble really means. I mean, when people say health is wealth, there are so many people that just wish they had the opportunity to like not have to go to a doctor's office 4 times a week or not have to rely on a wheelchair to move around or be able to see their grandparents for an extra day. So I think that for me, I understand really and very tangibly that the only thing promised in life is that you live and that you die.
Yeah.
So it's just a more concrete reality for me. I think so many people, when you're in your 20s, you're like, say la vie, you only live once, you know, but in a real way, you really only live once. In a real way, you should be passionate about what you do. In a real way, you should do what you love because you don't really know, tomorrow's not really promised. So I think there's a heaviness to it, but there's also this type of every day, thank God I woke up, thank God I have breath in my lungs, thank God, you know, I'm fully able, bodily abled. And there's just a huge amount of just gratitude, I feel.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds selfish, I guess, in a way, but I think it just changes my perspective. It's like I could say, woe is me, someone else died, or say, oh wow, like what a gift life is, because while this person, something happens and they can't control, they can't change, they can't alter, I get to show up for them in a major way and I get to help them in any way that I can. And that's the beauty of my job. It's like this unfortunate thing was going to happen regardless, and I can contribute to making their life better, whether it's helping them transition to hospice care or holding their hand through chemotherapy or explaining to them their disease process. I'm able to make their life somewhat better in a very tumultuous, very difficult time. So
Yeah.
it's all glass half full. That's kind of how you got to go about life in a career field like this, you know?
Yes, I could see how that could definitely make you change your perspective on life. I feel like we'll always have problems, so we just have to look at the positive side, look at what we have instead of what we don't.
Mm-hmm. And your health is opportunity. Like, there is nothing that can replace you being able to walk and talk and advocate for yourself and move around and time freedom. I think so many people want a lot of money. People with a lot of money, they gain a lot of money to have more time. So to know that, you know, somebody has 6 to 12 months, that changes your whole perspective on what matters. You know, if someone's like, I'll give you $10 million, or you can be guaranteed to live another 45 years, a lot of people would choose to live longer because that's the gift that keeps on giving, you know? Your opportunity to connect with people and just grow. So, yeah.
Love that. So, we will pivot a little bit to talk about social media. So, for the girls who are listening and just starting out with social media, and if they might feel overwhelmed, what piece of advice would you give to them about growing a platform with purpose?
I would say the biggest thing is be authentic. Be authentic to who you are and what you feel comfortable with. I think that's the most important advice. Um, Post what feels natural to you. Don't feel the need to compare yourself to other platforms or other people. I think everyone has their own niche audience. How they say that saying, there's someone for everyone, there's a community for everyone. Some people are really into cosplay, some people are really into fashion, some people are really into beauty, some people are really into movies. There's really a community for you somewhere, and you mimicking or copying or mirroring someone else's content really hinders your growth. So post what's authentic to you, be original, and don't be afraid to post imperfectly. Like, it may not look as curated as some people. You may not have all the edits or the gadgets, but when you're consistent, that's what makes perfection. You keep on showing up for yourself and you keep trying. So that's what I would say.
That's great advice. So, for our last section, it is called Unlimited Advice. So, it's just advice for girls. They've asked questions, and we can both answer these questions, but I might let you answer most of them.
Okay.
More experienced with this, but the questions are, what is a moment in your journey that reminded you that you were exactly where you're supposed to be?
That is a great question. Um, a moment in my journey that reminded me that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Um, I would say more recently, I would say within the past 6 months, I had been invited to an event.
Mhm.
Um, and it was for Apple, and they were launching the Apple 16, and it was a workshop that I was invited to, and they had selected maybe like a handful of creators from Atlanta, and they had waves of it. And like I was saying, it almost feels like, I'm half Batman, half Clark Kent sometimes, because it's just like you're at work and you're typing away, and then you're like kind of like watching your phone and like doing your eyeliner and your makeup during your lunch break, kind of transitioning for the next event. And there's been times I'll be like at work and like during my lunch break, like there will be an event in Midtown. I'm like, even if I'm there for 15 minutes, I want to show up. So I think just the moment that a product that I use so often, like if you see our office, I'm like literally talking in front of a MacBook right now. Like our Apple watches are charging. I have two Apple phones. Like I love Apple. So to have a moment where I could work with them independently and they saw me as a micro creator and that I was able to have a moment with their team and use their products and be gifted their products, that was really a moment where I said, what you're doing is right on the right track. Especially it came at a time where I was like, I don't want to continue doing content. To be seen and to be valued, and for other brands to kind of take a look at you. I think that was just really important for me at that time. And to this day, it's one of my favorite memories on this journey I've had so far. So yeah,
Yeah.
being recognized is definitely one of those moments that make you say, I'm where I need to be, don't need to rush it, and having more patience with myself. So, yeah.
Well, one thing that I can say is that you definitely are inspiring girls everywhere, even if you don't notice it. Even some of your older videos, people might come across them. Even me, I saw some of your older videos. I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing exactly what I want to do. So you're definitely inspiring people by just showing what you're doing. And that's amazing.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
Um, and I've seen a lot of creators that are also nurses, and some of them have been getting into disputes with conflict of interest. So, how do you manage that with being a content creator and a nurse or any profession?
So, something that I live by, as far as how I process my purpose in life, is that you need education to survive and creativity to thrive. So, my
Mhm.
career, my education, my continuing education credits, who I am at work, there is a line between who I am at work and who I am on social media. And I think I started social media, like I said earlier, very authentically. Like I just love making videos, love editing videos, love hanging out with my friends and my husband and showing that part of my life. And that creativity ended up being fruitful for me, but it was originally a creative outlet for me to connect with people. My job, I connect with people in a different kind of way, and I have a certain level of privacy that's warranted and respected because I'm in a healthcare field. So I don't have my phone out at work. I'm not showing people a day in the life as a nurse. Like there's a certain line I have with, as far as professionalism goes. These people are paying me to show up and be present here, doing this activity, being here for these patients. And then once I'm done with that, then I get to use my you know how they say 9 to 5, 5 to 9. After that 5 to 9, I get to be Naya Marisa, creator, and the wife, and the hot, happy wife, and the advice giver. But I make sure to kind of separate, make it church and state, so to speak, because there's a certain level of professionalism that's expected for my career, and intertwining those, I feel like, would be disingenuous because the company I work for doesn't want the brand in me. They want the nurse in me. And I feel like for some people, they're able to intertwine both professions a little bit more seamlessly. But for me, I'm not going to do a day in a life while I'm at work. While I'm at work, I'm not there to show people that I'm there. I'm there to just be there for my patients and the doctors and for my team.
Yeah,
So.
that's a great mindset, and that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's just me personally, that separation is really important to me because being a nurse is a part of my identity, but it isn't my full identity. So, something I'll talk about, something I'll encourage for other people, but I won't be at work or letting those two lanes cross because it could be very tricky.
It can be. Well, being multifaceted is always great. That's what I encourage to everybody. Have more than one avenue or interest. So that's so good.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes. So as we wrap up for our last question, I want to ask what is some advice you have for girls that are navigating romantic relationships or even friendships in their early stages of life?
I would say my favorite tools for building relationships, for any relationship, it really starts off with having healthy boundaries. When you are able to create boundaries that allow people to respect you, but also invite them in to love you and invite them to have a certain level of intimacy with you, it's really healthy to know what you're okay with. And secondly, I think a lot of women fall into people pleasing. It's okay if people don't always like you. That's totally fine. But always show up authentically as yourself and only do things that you're comfortable with. Um, then I say with relationships, romantic relationships specifically, my magic cocktail for that is chemistry and compatibility. You want there to be a spark, you want there to be a banter, you want there to be humor, you want there to be charm in your relationship, but that has to be balanced out with there being a synergy between, do you guys have the same lifestyle goals, same religion, same morals, same values, same parenting style, same upbringing? That's also very important as far as compatibility for longevity. So, when you're 65, sex and charm and it's not as important. Do you still want it to be there? Of course, but compatibility gives you the long run, while chemistry allows you to keep that person's attention in the short term, especially when we're young. There's so much on Instagram and TikTok, and you're seeing so many things that are triggering your dopamine receptors, and you think that maybe the grass is greener on the other side. But if you have a genuine chemistry with the person you love, and you're also very compatible and have the same goals for your 5 year or 10 year plan, you're more likely to be successful. So, yeah, I would say having healthy boundaries is important. And for relationships, finding a good balance because, yeah, they're your plus one. So,
Incredible advice. Well, before we wrap up, is there any last words that you have for the viewers or any upcoming projects you have or just a little piece of advice that you want to give?
I would just say, I'm always giving tips on my page on, how to be a hot, happy wife. That's kind of like my tagline right now. So if you ever want relationship advice or marriage advice, at Naya Maurice is my Instagram and my TikTok as well. I'm also open to talking about nursing content as well. So if people have questions, they can always go over to my page. And as far as advice, I really do love what you're doing here. I just want women to know you are boundless, you are limitless. So continue to get your education, continue to invest in yourself, continue to affirm yourself and believe in yourself. And confidence is the most priceless possession you could have. So walk into every room knowing you're valuable. Whatever you think your value is, 10x it, especially if you're a black woman, and continue to show up as yourself. So, that's all I got for for today.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. And everybody, remember that you're unlimited. Bye, guys.
Bye.